Hello and welcome to another Streaming Parson Dig Delight Direct Drive DJ video. Today's character analysis is about photonmaiden's DJ and main vocalist, Izumu Saki. Saki has always been an interesting character because of how distinguished she is, not just among her teammates, but amongst the D4DJ cast as a whole. The Hokkaido gal with stellar dreams descends onto Tokyo. Her time with photonmaiden created a great expanse in her life, but there was something missing. There was no tether, no solid ground to stand on. That is until she encountered happyaround's Akashi Maho. Hello and welcome to another Streaming Parson Dig Delight Direct Drive DJ video. Today's character analysis is about happyaround's DJ and operative leader, Akashi Maho. Everyone knows Maho, the kind, compassionate, simple girl next door, just going with the flow of building a DJ unit from the ground up, starting with a jungle girl, then a bunny girl, and then an ivory girl. Living day by day, live show to live show, spinning from place to place to spread happiness. Around and around they go, like the planet they live on. But a storm brews above, as the sky can change at a moment's notice. Maho learns this the hard way when she encountered photonmaiden's Izumu Saki. The story begins in First Mix Episode 9, appropriately named Encounter the Light, for this is going to be one heck of an encounter. Maho is looking cheerful as her hard work with happyaround pays off, reaching 8th place in Yoba Academy's DJ standings. They qualify for the Sunset Stage, the big music popularity contest Maho always desired since Episode 2. However, that cheeriness is pushed aside when an invasive force crash lands onto the scene. Photonmaiden's cool and stylish performance injects themselves into tying with happyaround for that coveted qualification, leading to a head-to-head. Photonmaiden attempts to brute force a win with an Akatsuki-class song, but happyaround show their tenacity and adaptability, becoming a brand new world, giving them the victory. Episode 11 switches the perspective of the narrative. Throughout First Mix, the story is primarily told through Maho's perspective, the down-to-earth homegirl growing in notoriety with her friends. Voice of Evolution shifts to tell a story mostly from Saki's perspective. The episode feels alien as it breaks the frequent insight into Maho's inner thoughts and instead relies on visual storytelling through Saki's actions. The episode begins with happyaround winning, filling Saki with anger in the visual clutching of her fist. Her anger is justifiable. From her point of view, there is no reason she should have lost to an amateur when she is the professional. Later, when photonmaiden are preparing for practice, Saki is more distraught than the other members. Ibuki, Toa, and Noah are relieved that they weren't yelled at by their manager. For them, photonmaiden is just a job. But for Saki, photonmaiden is the new life that must succeed. In Groovy Mix, the audience learns that Saki only picked up DJing a year before auditioning, meaning that not only did she have to leave home for photonmaiden, she was venturing into uncharted territory in her new career choice. First Mix went in an interesting direction in not having Saki tell this story through inner monologues. Instead of spending the episode explaining Saki's emotions, Voice of Evolution dived right into the encounter. Saki hears about the school's remix contest, referred to as Remicon, and decides to try her hand at it to see where her DJ skills really lie. This time she actually takes notice of the Remicon, despite that she would have heard about it many times, as she has attended Yoba longer than Rinku, where the series begins. Perhaps Saki never thought that she needed to test herself being a professional DJ. She enters as DJ Dragon, hoping to land top 5 to comfort herself in her loss against happyaround. Sadly, she doesn't succeed, further disheartening her. Fortunately for Saki, her efforts were not for naught, as Maho looks up to see DJ Dragon's work and admires it enough to talk about it with her friends the next day. Saki overhears this and wants to gain pointers, but there is a reason why the sky and earth are connected by the Ame no Ukahashi. Due to the distance between them, the sky always struggles to come in contact with the earth. In simpler terms, Saki is clearly no good at approaching people, so she does the most logical thing a girl can do to learn from someone else. Follow them around. Maho catches on pretty quickly and confronts Saki on her shady behavior. Saki comes clean and states that she wanted to learn from Maho what the flaws were in her remix so that she can improve as a DJ.
つまり音の整理ができてないからごちゃっとした印象になってて、せっかく盛り込んだアイデアが生きてなくて、だからそこに気をつけるともっと良くなると思う。ありがとう、とても参考になった。今更だけど、フォトンメイデンのサキさんだよね。ごめんなさい、自己紹介もしてなくて。いや、それは別にいいんだけど、リミックスやったことなかったってのがちょっと意外で。フォトンメイデンって歌もダンスもめっちゃスキル高いから、曲作りとかもバリバリやってんじゃないかなって勝手に。ユニット曲は全部プロデューサーが私たちのイメージに合わせて選んでくれてる。でも私、新しい色が欲しくて。新しい色？あなたたちは今までとは違う新しい色をまとって前に進んだ。だから私たちも新しい色を手に入れて前に進みたい。そっか。それで自分で曲作りをする手始めにリミックスをしてみようと思ったんだ。もう一つ聞いていいかな。なんで DJ ネーム DJ ドラゴンなの？あんまドラゴンってイメージないんだけど。それはドラゴンフルーツが好きだから。そうなんだ。
There is a lot to observe in this scene. Pay attention to their appearances. Saki has lavender hair and gray eyes, which resembles a dragon. After Maho points out how little of a dragon Saki looks, an image of a dragon fruit's interior and exterior appear when she explains that she named herself after the fruit, not the lizard. There is more than meets the eye, as her color scheme is also associated with outer space. The lavender hair parallels the fading of the ultraviolet light from the sun just before darkness blankets the earth, which allows the stars to appear to glimmer in the night sky, symbolized by the silver glint in her eyes. This is largely contrasted to Maho's more realistic features, having brown hair and blonde tips paralleling the earth's soil and sand, with blue eyes matching the oceans. This physical contrast is the beginning of their juxtaposition dynamic that is unique amongst the D4DJ cast. Juxtaposition dynamics are fun to write and read as they allow for all sorts of story conventions. A popular example used, especially in animes like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and Digimon, is the orange and blue trope. The fiery orange character tends to be more outgoing, fun-loving, and having a can-do positive attitude. The icy blue character tends to be reclusive, overly serious, and having a gloomy, moody attitude. It is fun to watch these two personalities collide, maximizing development in seeing characters deal with their foils. Mermaids Rika and Rondo Tsubaki are D4DJ's most straightforward play of this archetype, even wearing the colors on stage. But they are not the only orange and blue juxtaposition in D4DJ. There is Neo and Lumina being reflections of each other. Then there is Kyoko and Shinobu being a little more subtle compared to the other examples. The orange and blue will always be a popular trope, but with D4DJ's large and diverse cast, why not kick it up a notch? Saki being built different with her alien aspects creates a larger cosmological dimension when meeting her foil in Maho. Their dynamic goes beyond fire and ice, going on a planetary level with the sky and the earth. Voice of Evolution's use of visual cues to express Saki's feelings contrasts Maho's frequent inner monologues. The use of Maho's narration allows the audience to have a comfortable immersion to D4DJ's world. Its absence with Saki creates uncanny distance, uprooting the audience from familiarity to an otherworldly experience. Her otherness is heightened with the use of her synesthesia for visual storytelling, adding onto the alien feeling. The contrast of perspective shows Maho being a standard conventional character, whereas Saki's charm comes from how unconventional she is. This difference is one of their unique qualities over the other orange and blue dynamics in D4DJ. The sky and earth metaphor between Saki and Maho is literally emphasized in the usage of elevation. When Saki first observes Maho, she is in a standing position while Maho is sitting down with happyaround. When they meet, there is a moment where Saki gets into Maho's face, once again having Saki standing up while Maho is sitting down. There are other ways Saki is shown in higher elevation than Maho. For instance, Maho lives in a small house having her close to the ground. Saki lives high up on the top floor of an apartment building with her window view overlooking other buildings. Saki is from Hokkaido, which is north, whereas Maho is born and raised in Tokyo, which is south. At Yoba Academy, Saki is often sitting on the school's roof, whereas Maho is often in the school's lower court. This is exemplified when jumping ahead to Caught in the Act. The member card begins with Saki observing Maho from an upper walkway through binoculars. The imagery of Saki standing over Maho and observing her from a distance emulates the sky looming over and having a bird's eye view of the earth. Hearing Saki's thoughts of observing Maho, her objective is always the same: watching the girl next door to understand the ways of the world. Pause. This is stalking, isn't it? Why is there so much of this between these two? What is happening? Saki being the other allows the writers to downplay the stalker behavior and play it off as cute. How does the saying go? Stalking is perfectly fine when it is a kawaii girl doing it? For Saki and Maho, it is utilized to build upon the sky and earth dynamic between them. The writers use this pass on 4 separate occasions. 2 I already mentioned with Voice of Evolution and Caught in the Act. The 3rd time is in the Saki birthday member card, Locked On. It begins with Maho asking Saki what she wants for her birthday. She doesn't give a straight answer, annoying Maho as she struggles figuring out what to get her. So, she does the only thing she can do in this situation: stalking. From a train station, to a clothing store, to a random neighborhood, to a park. She follows Saki around to learn more about her interests. Maho is self-conscious enough to not only notice that the stalking exchange has been reversed, but also how creepy she is being. Apparently, unlike Saki, she is actually good at tailing people because she doesn't get caught doing this, whereas Saki is easily discovered every time, mostly by Maho herself. Saki being bad at this stalker thing is akin to how, like objects in the sky, are all easily seen. Whether it is her hair and eyes easily reflecting light, like the moon and planets in the night sky, or lack of subtlety makes her presence known, like the shadow of an overcast. She is easily seen by others. Maho being akin to the earth easily blends into her environment. Even though she is described as having brown hair, there is a green tint portraying Maho's oneness with nature. She is good at hiding her presence, that she can observe Saki at a close distance, without detection. Maho learns from her observations that Saki really enjoys staring off into the distance. As a result, Maho buys her a pair of binoculars, who immediately uses it to spy on her. Good job, Maho. Then again, perhaps the binoculars were actually a good idea, because it can get a little weird when the sky starts closing in on the Earth. The fourth incident is in the member card story, Nightlight of a Star. The episode begins with more stalking, but Maho quickly catches Saki. Instead of getting a restraining order, Maho asks why she is following her around. Saki confesses that she wants her help in understanding otaku culture. It is revealed that Saki has little to no exposure to anime and manga and was hoping Maho would be able to help. Now I know it sounds terrible stereotyping Japanese people being into manga and anime considering they come from there, but Saki's lack of knowledge is meant to reinforce her image as the other by not being into what the average Japanese person is into. The stereotyping worsens as her assumption of Maho's knowledgeability of those things is accurate. It doesn't stop there, as not only is Maho a regular consumer of light novels, the sort of literature she is into is exactly what you think it is. To get Saki into reading manga, Maho lends her a series that has a popular anime adaptation. The audience isn't told what the story is, but one can easily guess based on the next scene. Meeting at a park the following day, Saki thanks Maho for lending her the light novel that she spent all night reading. She expresses joy in such a compelling story in stating her favorite part, where the protagonist's childhood friend touches her chin. The image given shows a common trope used in romance dramas oriented for teenage girls and young women, better known as shoujo. Is there any surprise that Maho reads this sort of stuff? It shouldn't. In Maho Receives a Complaint, the audience is given privy to the fact that Maho is into common teenage girl things like fashion when looking through a magazine. The follow-up story, Her Respect, has happyaround tease her that despite her tomboyish exterior, deep down, she is a regular teenage girl into regular teenage girl things. Her reading of shoujo literature is just a natural extension of her average girl motif. Their difference of knowledge and interest reinforce the metaphor of the alienness of space versus the normality of common earthly encounters. Nightlight of a Star has a metaphorical play on the closing distance between the sky and the earth. By exposing Saki to shoujo literature, she is able to closer be with the world by experiencing normal teenage girl activities. This physically manifests as her reenacting her favorite part of the series, taking Maho by the chin, ignoring personal space. The use of elevation is reused as Saki takes on a masculine role, leaning over Maho. The latter is clearly surprised by her behavior, symbolizing sporadic weather over the earth. Saki's lack of personal space reflects the sky coming into contact with the earth, like in so many mythologies, desiring to close the gap between them. In Only I Can Know, Saki takes the opportunity to talk to Maho, who is staying the night at her apartment, to develop their friendship. This is the first moment where Maho and Saki are truly given an opportunity to talk about their personal lives, learning about each other as people. They learn that they really are opposites, with Maho being the eldest of 3 children, while Saki is an only child. Saki, being a loner growing up, has her often thinking alone in her imagination, reflected in her musical idealism. Maho lives a busy life caring for others, taking opportunity to find inspiration in day-to-day activities. Their lives being different has them see that there is so much more than music that they can learn from each other. Now I have to talk about the setting and how it plays into the sky and earth dynamic between them. Despite that this scene takes place in Saki's apartment, she is the invasive one, entering a bathtub where Maho already is. more of their opposite natures are on display as Saki once again has no regard for personal space, whereas Maho is overly self-conscious about sharing a bath with somebody else. Then there's the tub itself. Water is the vehicle of which sky and earth work together to sustain life. The cycle of evaporation, transpiration, condensation, precipitation, and runoff continuously connects the sky and the earth, making it inappropriately appropriate that Saki and Maho build rapport with water between them. These member cards flesh out the sky and earth imagery, but how does that ultimately serve their relationship? Reach for the Light is a story about Maho coming to terms with her need to strengthen her musical resolve and accept Saki as her DJ rival. The story begins with happyaround listening to the results of a weekly Remicon. She is confident that this week she will get into the top 3 after steadily climbing up to 4th place. Her chance at 3rd is denied as DJ Dragon lands in 2nd out of nowhere, knocking both Maho and her hypothetical contender to 4th and below. Photonmaiden appears with Saki beaming with confidence, making Maho envious of her ability. Shinobu, along with Piki Piki, also arrive on the scene, declaring she won't be losing that number 1 position. Accepting the challenge, Saki ponders what she needs to do to get a win over Shinobu. She comes up with the idea of asking Maho for help.
という感じで、どれだけリミックスしても満足のいく曲が作れなくて。真帆さんなら今の私に何が足りないのか気づいてもらえるかもと。お願いします。前みたいに助言をいただけませんか？まず曲を聴かせてもらうね。どうでしょうか？すごいいいリミックスだと思うよ。最初にリミコンに出た時よりずっと良くなってる。さすが、2位に選ばれるだけあるって感じ。いつも1位の忍さんもすごいけどさ、久々にリミコンに出していきなり2位なんだよ。十分すごいって。私は、ほら、3連続で4位だったし。さっきのリミックス聞いてたら、自分がどうして4位だったのか分かっちゃったもん。真帆さん？確かに、さっきにリミックスのやり方を教えたのは私だけどさ、でも、教えたからってさっきより上手ってわけじゃないよ。そんなこと、真帆さんのリミックスは私はずっと。ごめん、さき。忍さんに勝てないってことは確かに足りてないものがあるんだとは思う。でも忍さんに勝ててないのは私も同じだよ。自分ができてないことを人に教えることはできない。でも真帆さんはすごくて何でもできて。私真帆さんのリミックスが本当に好きなんです。だから私にはわからないこともわかると。ごめんね、力になれなくて。もうこんな時間。ごめん、お母さんに買い物頼まれてるから私もう帰るね。じゃあさき、またね。どうしてだろう。今までと同じように真帆さんなら助けてくれると思ったのに。
Maho looks a bit of a bee for walking out on Saki like this. However, in her defense, she isn't wrong. How can she help Saki do something that she can't do herself? Her logic is simple. If Shinobu is better than Saki, and Saki is better than Maho, then how can she help? Saki's humility and attempts of praising Maho only make her feel worse, taking it as condescension, building resentment from the latter. The only thing Maho could have done is create distance from Saki, since that girl has proven she has no concept of personal space. After getting some air, Maho does some introspection, pondering her attitude, self-aware that she is acting out of character. She realizes that she is envious about Saki's talent that has disrupted the natural order. She rationalizes that it makes sense that Shinobu is better than her because of how much longer the legacy DJ has been in the scene, but sees it as unfair that Saki can get a win over her when she has been a DJ longer. In Maho's mind, there is an order of operations to these things. One's experience directly correlates with skill level, which is reflected by rankings. The contrast between sky and earth are on display in this dynamic, as Maho's approach to things like musical talent is linearly straightforward, and Saki is the alien invader. To further clear her head, Maho enters Club Frolic, where she encounters Kanade, a guest DJ from Hokkaido. Her impressive floor-rousing skills inspires Maho, who approaches to introduce herself, but just as she does, Saki is also present, greeting her old mentor. The moment gets awkward, but Kanade offers her help by listening to them and perhaps giving some insight to the estranged youngsters. After hearing their story, Kanade spells out for Saki how she hurt Maho in not respecting her defeat in asking for help. She makes a comment of Saki needing to be more aware of her ever-growing talent, pointing out how becoming a professional DJ after 1 year is not normal. Leaning onto the fourth wall a bit, she states that it is difficult for an average girl like Maho to compete with this anime heroine, but that is no excuse for impotency. Her advice to Maho is that she needs to embrace her rivalry with Saki as motivation to improve as a DJ. Kanade lays the reality that this will be difficult for the girl next door, as in such a short time, Saki has soared into incredible heights, even leaving the old veteran in the dust. Maho disagrees, stating that Kanade has a knack for reading the room and interacting with the crowd during a performance. Maho's statement has Kanade realize that there is something she forgot to teach Saki. Hearing her analysis, she sees that Maho does have something to offer Saki that she herself cannot teach. Before she can reveal what that is, she passes out from a few drinks too many, leading the youngsters to do the most counterintuitive thing: carry her all the way up to Saki's apartment. Since it takes a while to accomplish this, Saki suggests that Maho stay the night, which she agrees to. To pass the time, Saki asks Maho to teach her more about remixing music as part of Kanade's advice. Maho is resistant to that notion because of Saki placing higher than her in the Remicon after being on hiatus. Saki refutes this by saying that she never took a hiatus, as her previous entries never placed top 5, and the last track was just lucky. Maho asks to hear her past entries, and upon examining them, realizes the sporadic nature of Saki's remixes, adding onto what makes them different. Maho is very systematic, treating remixes as reinterpretations of the original songs, different from her happyaround music. In her mind, when remixing, the original track must be respected, otherwise you're just making a new song. Saki does not compartmentalize her music. She wants to use her composition to express an idea, regardless of the context. Another way of thinking about it is Maho's method is about rules, thinking about music and remixing as a craft to be honed and mastered. Her rigid view of climbing Yoba's DJ hierarchy is a natural litmus to follow. While it allows her to be focused, her music is rigid, which risks stagnation. Saki's method is feelings-oriented, making music is about expressing her character. The problem Saki has is that without rules, definitions are not clear, resulting in messy motifs, collapsing connection with the listener. Saki learns that she needs to find some good old terra firma to stand on to plant her feet before her expression can take off. Maho learns that she needs to trust herself and take a leap of faith, believing she can express her character through her song. The collision of their extremes allows for their rivalry to have a special dimension that is not present among other juxtaposition dynamics in D4DJ. The beauty of the sky and earth dynamic between Saki and Maho is that despite their differences, there is something powerful that exists between them. A world full of potential. Our little blue planet is special in the cosmos because its unique mix of metals and atmospheric conditions allow for life to flourish. If the atmosphere is too dense, the metals become toxic, killing everything on its surface. If the metals are too dense, its overpowering magnetic field dissipates the atmosphere, which nothing can survive on. Only when there is balance between them can there be life. By greatly contrasting what Maho and Saki are good at, their uniqueness allows for their rivalry to serve as an opportunity for them to bring their differences together to create something neither could do on their own. They are two halves of a whole, reaching for the light of a new expression uniquely theirs. A harmony is born, creating a song of space and soil as they learn from and motivate one another as DJs.
よくわかった。私とサキ、そもそもリミックスの作り方から違うんだね。え？感覚派っていうのかな。私は結構理論とか考える方なんだけど、サキは違う。自分の感じたことをそのまま曲にぶつけてるんだね。はい、そんな感じです。私はそういう作り方ができない。つまりサキは私にないものを持っていて、私もサキにはないものを持っている。だからサキは私のことをすごいって言ってくれたのかも。サキも完璧じゃないってことだね。当然です。今回はどうにかうまくいったけど、私からすればコンスタントに5位以内に入っている真帆さんや忍さんの方がよほど実力があると思います。なるほどね。それで私に教えてほしいって。はい、船外になってしまったこのリミックス、もっとダメなところを教えてもらえますか？うん、じゃあまず1曲目だけどテンポが。
The story ends with them working the night away, creating a new remix together. They oversleep and are late to school the next day. While on lunch break, the public announcer lists the winners of that week's remix contest. There is an upset as Shinobu is overthrown by a team-up of DJ Mash and DJ Dragon. Saki comes crashing in like a comet, asking Maho what this is about, but she is equally clueless as they have no memory of submitting their remix. Turns out that Kanade awoke during the night and submitted their song for them before leaving Saki's apartment. Seeing what they are capable of by working together inspires them to move forward in their musical endeavors. Saki and Maho go their separate ways, challenging each other in their pursuits to win the next remix contest on their own, reinvigorating their rivalry and relationship to new horizons.
真帆さんにも忍さんにも負けない曲を作ってみせます。うん、私もサキのおかげでパワーアップしたから、次勝つのは私だよ。